This is Roger with Crosscut in Tucson, Arizona. We're selling this truck, and it's a 2007 Ford F250 crew cab. It's an XLT with leather. It's a 6.0 turbo diesel. It's two-wheel drive. Has 116,800 miles. Interesting truck. So this is my second video. I did a video a week or so ago, about a week and a half ago, and we did something that we never do because it's stupid to do this. We put an Bulletproof EGR cooler on this thing 2.5 weeks ago, and we didn't do the oil cooler while we were there, even though it's really easy to do at the same time because it looked brand new. Well, after we did the EGR cooler and brought it home and put it online, we see that it's leaking. There's a little, not a lot, but a puddle of oil underneath it about the size of your palm after about a week. Put it up in the air. It's an oil cooler, so we had to send it back to Monsoon and do it correctly. We always tell everybody, when you do a Bulletproof EGR cooler, you should also do the oil cooler. It's 30 minutes more of labor, and it's a $307 part. But when we looked at the EGR cooler, the oil cooler, it looked new, like someone had just done it. It wasn't. So anyway, so that's why we're doing the second video, because we had to do that. So this thing has a Bulletproof EGR cooler that's new, a new Ford oil cooler. It's also got a new oil cup, which it sits in. And let's see, oil and filter are new, coolant's new, new brake pads and rear brake rotors, new coolant bottle, oil pressure switch, detail, all that stuff, all the invoices from Monsoon, all the parts invoices for this truck will be in the ad. Just click on them, you can see for yourself. There's other stuff, it's kind of minor, but you can read the invoices yourself. All right, this truck is sweet. All right, it runs and drives great. It does have one quirk, which I'll tell you when we drive. Like all diesel Ford trucks, they seem to be off on the fuel gauge. When you're at like a 1/16 of a tank, you're out of gas. And when the low fuel light comes on, you got about 5 miles max, and then you're out. I've learned that twice in this truck. I forgot the first, I learned the first time and I forgot the second time. So it's not worth doing an $800 gauge when you know that. So, you know, if someone steals your truck, if someone were to steal this truck, they're gonna run out of gas, which will make you smile. Just fill it up at 1/8 of a tank instead of a 1/16 of a tank, and you'll be fine. Anyway, this truck has Michelin's on it. So the previous owner, this is a really high tread Michelin's, so someone liked it enough to do that. We think, we've been back and forth. The hood has been painted. They did a pretty good job, actually excellent job. And we think that the passenger side of this truck has been painted, but for some reason, they didn't paint the upper bumper cover. Because of what it is, because it's a truck, who cares, all right? It's actually a good looking truck, but my job in these videos is not to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you what is, okay? And so I just spent the last 2 or 3 hours with this truck up in the air, degreasing, getting the undercarriage clean because of all the oil that was everywhere, and now it looks great and it's not leaking. Took it over to the car wash, which was right over there, and I thought, before it starts raining, we have a monsoon, that's Mexico right there. It's gonna rain really soon. I better get this video done before it starts pouring. So I'm doing that right now. Fresh from the car wash. Anyway, so I've spent quite a bit of time. I did the whole thing. I didn't just do the under the motor and stuff. I did the whole undercarriage. So it looks really good. Got a little bit of this. If you really want to look at what cosmetically it looks like, make sure you go to the photo gallery, zoom in on photos. I hate camper shells. This one sucks too, in my opinion, but my brother likes to keep them because some people want them. Both sides have broken vent windows here. I wanted to take it off. He says keep it, so we keep it, all right? Someone might not care and they may want it for whatever reason. But I'm not a fan of them at all. So both these things like screw out, and of course they're both broken and it's just kind of a mess. I wish I had won this argument because I think they look a lot cooler without them. But if you want us to take it off, we can do that. We got a forklift and we'll just lift it right off, and hopefully somebody will come and take it away from us, put it free on the corner or something. But if you want it, it's there, okay? key. Let's see if the remote works. It does. Let's get this thing running. 116,808 miles. I'm told in our videos that sometimes people see the display clicking, like flickering, this thing flickering. It's really what the camera does to it. It's not flickering when I'm looking at it. So if it's flickering in the video, it's not with the naked eye. It's fine, okay? Anyway, let's see, real quickly, let's go through monsoon. So June 25th, they finished this truck and they did an EGR cooler, which is the Bulletproof EGR cooler, coolant system flush, an alternator, disc brake pads and rear rotors, blah, 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 vacuum line repair. That was $1,624 worth of work, right? Then I see the puddle, so we bring it back, and it gets an oil cooler. I write, ouch, $792. That would have been just the part price had I done it the first time. I just got cheap, and I thought it looked like a brand new one, and it wasn't. Anyway, lube oil and filter, coolant tank reservoir, oil pressure switch is new, 1,100 bucks. That should have been about $400. That was my fault. Here's the invoice for the Bulletproof EGR cooler itself from Bulletproof. Paid $348 for it, and then we go do a core, which is 50 bucks, so it's like $280. Like I said, here's the EGR cooler. I'm sorry, this is the Ford oil cooler. This is $307.88. That's the oil cooler cup, which it sits in, okay? Brake pads, alternator, blah, blah, blah. Coolant reservoir, injection conditioner, cleaner, actually. There's the oil pressure switch, etc. Here's the Carfax. Kelly Blue Book blends the Carfax history and the Kelly Blue Book, and they come up with a adjusted value of $19,410 for this truck. Here's your VIN. No accidents reported, no major title problems. Looks like it was born in North Carolina. Very well serviced. Bum, 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 bum. There you go. And let's see. So here's the title. This is the Texas title. This is the person who traded it in. They traded it into, let's see, to Don Davis Ford in Houston, Texas, and we bought it from Don Davis to Wheel Kinetics with $116,697. Okay, let's go into the hood here. We're going to be looking for Ford stamps on both fenders. There's a Ford stamp there, Ford stamp there, new coolant bottle. By the way, you're going to see a little bit of a layer, just a tiny bit of layer. That's from the oil cooler. We've flushed it a bunch of times. It takes a couple more times to get all of it out, but it's fine. It's not unsafe for the motor or anything. There's a Ford stamp here. Should be another one there, and there is. We got the oil cap. Excellent on blow-by. Almost none, which is very good. And I locked the door, which I do every time, which is great. Worst habit in the world. Oh, man. I'm really trying to beat the rain here. We're like right on the edge of the storm. All right. Let's see. Oh, no, and the window lock's on too. Son of a... Okay. I've done this before, people, believe me. I know it's hard to believe, considering how badly I'm doing this, but I have. There. I think I'm like rushing a little too much concerning the weather. Here's your window up and down. Door locks. Okay. It's an XLT with dual power seats, which is interesting. Up, down, and leather, which is really interesting. So this was probably special order. Little bit of a thing there. Cup holders loose, which they all are. That would be one of their problems. But the big one is handled. We have a Bulletproof EGR cooler, new Ford oil cooler, new oil. And I cleaned up the mess too. Okay. By the way, when they're from Houston, anyone from Texas, anywhere near the water, always look down at the inner part of the door. You want to look down here for rust, and that's excellent. And down here on the driver's door, and there's none, which is great. Okay, door locks. Okay, mirrors out, in, up, and down. Other side, out, in, up, and down. See, forward, back, up. We go all the way down, and then we'll go up. There you go, up. Tilt up, down, down. Pedals up and down. Tilt wheel. Air conditioning. It's freaking humid, man. God dang. It is probably 90 degrees and about 70% humidity, which for Tucson, I know for a lot of people, there's tow on. See where the light came on and off. It's got an old school Alpine radio with a USB port. That's what it is. Whatever it is what it is. Like she was saying. All right, there's your trailer stuff. Let's see, I think that's about it. Let me go drive. So that's drive. And reverse. All right. And let's go for a ride. All right, if you come to Tucson to drive this truck home, you'll pay the following. You'll pay your state tax rate, whatever that is, plus our city tax of 2.7% and a $250 dock fee. By the way, there's a little star right here. It's kind of out of the vision, but it's there, all right? Windshields cost us $189. It's kind of out of view, so we're not going to do it, but if you want it done, we'll add $189 and we'll have them come out and do a windshield for you. Anyway, so you'll pay your state tax plus our city of 2.7 and a $250 dock fee if you come here to drive it home. If you pay by wire and ship out of state, all you're going to pay is agreed upon price. Look at the clouds, man. It's dark. That's it. Once we receive your wire, we'll fill out the title with your name or your company's name and address. We will sign it off to you. We will scan it in your online file, and we will mail it to you. We even scan it in the envelope we mail it in. You will have the truck shipped to you, and the title will be in your mailbox before the shipper shows up with your truck. Once the shipper shows up with your truck, you'll just take it and the title to motor vehicles in your city and get plates. It's very simple. If you need help with shipping, let me know. We can roll the price of your shipping into the vehicle's price. If you need that for your load, the pretty high percentage of people need that. Just roll the shipping into the price of the vehicle when they go to their credit unions or whatever. If you want to do it yourself and you just need a few phone numbers to call, we can provide some phone numbers, or you can just do it all yourself. We have lots of people who bought many, many vehicles from us over and over again, and by the time all the money's in our account and the truck is gone, I barely knew it was sold. That's how good they are at it. Kyle in San Diego, he runs like a boys and girls club type of thing there, and he's on truck number 15 or something crazy. Like, he's well over 10, and he'll have it bought and paid for and gone almost within 2 or 3 hours of us agreeing to his offer. It's pretty cool. But if you need help, I'm here to help. Deposit's $500. Once we have a deposit, we have a deal. Until then, it will stay for sale. I'm gonna jump on it for you right here. This thing runs great. This is not a 60-mile-an-hour zone. This is a 30-mile-an-hour zone, I believe. So trying to get a ticket here is probably a bad idea. Anyway, deposit's $500. Once we have a deposit, we have a deal. Until then, it will stay for sale. So please get your deposit. Last part of every video, I say the same thing, and I will this time, like I have for 10 years on every single car, the same thing. We don't have salesmen. We don't have bottled water with our name on it. We don't have a fancy location where we have an attendant serving scones and lattes and sandwiches. We don't have a game room for the kids. We have razor wire. We have a road in front of our place that basically is four-wheeling. So you'll be able to, when we get back here in a minute, you'll be able to hear any vibrations or whatever, because basically we're in Bolivia when we turn onto Gardner Lane. Damn, that light sucked. Anyway, we don't have all the stuff that they have, so our bills are a lot lower. Our uncle owns the property we're on. He charges us $1 a year, plus we have to pay the property taxes, which are about $300 a month. So it's $300 a month versus the auto mall that are paying, you know, between 10 and 20 grand per location at the auto mall for their spot. So obviously we don't need to make the money they need to make. We don't need to charge what they need to charge just for them to break even. They have to charge a lot more than us. We don't have to do that. So we pass the savings that we have on to you in order to not be sitting on cars for months and months and months. All right, we don't want this truck on our property for 5 months. They've got vehicles on their properties for a year. All right, we can't do that. All right, so there is one give and take involved here that they offer. When something breaks on the vehicle they sell you because they made a fortune or because they charge you a fortune, you bring it in and you say, God, the window motor doesn't work, or it needs an injector, or the radio broke, or whatever. And they're like, well, we also added $500 at the time of sale for future repairs. So yeah, we'll fix your car or your truck or your SUV or whatever. Well, we are charging you a lot less than them. So you can afford to fix your car with the money you saved buying from us. And we expect you to do that, okay? If you can't wrap your head around the fact that you're saving thousands of dollars up front, you have all the information in the world about this vehicle, the Carfax, the repairs, the invoices, everything, and say, wow, if something breaks, I'm gonna have to fix my truck. If you can't wrap your head around that, there's not a single vehicle we've ever owned that we can sell you. We're starting to build our inventory back up. We used to have 65, 70 vehicles here. We sold them all at the auction because the dealers were paying more than the public. And now I think the public wishes they had bought these vehicles because they're really hard to come by, especially these diesel trucks that are nice, like all of these are really, by the way, that's the backup sensor.